What's up, guys? Today we're taking a look at this knife. This is the SOG Terminus XR from SOG Knives. This particular one is the carbon fiber version with a beautiful satin S35VN steel blade. Really nice belt grind on there. It looks really cool. This is a smaller knife, about a 3-inch blade. It's got a flipper, and this one features the XR lock, which is kind of like SOG's version of the Axis lock from Benchmade. So you have these two tabs on the sides that you pull back, and it acts just like a Benchmade Axis lock, kind of like you see on the bug out. Same thing, just this one features a flipper tab and a thumb stud, both, not just thumb studs. Most of Benchmade locks only have the thumb studs, which is kind of cool. This one has flipper tab as well, which I think is a really cool thing to implement on this style of knife, because I love flipper tabs. Big fan. This smaller knife, like I said, it's definitely a 3-inch-ish blade. Clean that off a little bit. You see, this one is highly reflective. Very nice, highly reflective, polished satin blade there. See, it says SOG Terminus XR on this side. I love those belt lines. Those belt lines look really nice. Let me see if I can focus on that. Yeah, the grind lines on this knife look really, really pretty. Especially on this side as well. Definitely look really good, nice and consistent. Very slicey knife. It says this is cryo CPM to S35VN. I'm not sure what the cryo is all about. I think that's just a part of the process of the heat treatment of the steel. I'm not sure how much it benefits or whatever the steel's performance or what, but it has it. This has some nice jibbing on top of the blade, which is definitely meaningful. It definitely grabs your finger. This is definitely some grabby jimping. Definitely grabs your thumb really nicely when you rest it up there. Nicely contoured. It's got some nice rounding, not contoured, but nice chamfers on the edges to round these scales off. So in the hand, it definitely feels nice. These corners are a little bit sharp here on the top, near those steel liners, and along down here, it's a little bit sharp. This flipper tab is also a little bit sharp. The jimping is a little bit pokey. So if I would change it, I would change the jimping a little bit to not be so pokey. Same thing with the blade. You could definitely, grind your fingernail off with the top of that blade there. You can see it's definitely a sharp edge. So that's just something to think about. It's a nicely rounded knife. It's a little bit thicker, but not too bad. It's got a really beautiful, nice deep carry pocket clip on this one. Comes way out the back. This is like way deep carry. This is like you're going caving and you're way at the bottom, just hanging out. This is a deep carry. It's going to be beautiful stuff. So, works really well. I've carried this a couple times. Didn't have any issues. A little bit smaller than I prefer, but I still enjoy it. This one get a really nice forefinger grip on. It's definitely very solid. A little bit snug, but really feels good in the hand. It definitely feels like I have a good purchase on that blade, which is good. It definitely fills my hand really nicely. Nicely rounded and everything. Let's do some size comparisons with some other knives. Up against the Benchmade bug out, definitely a good comparison because they both have that Axis style lock. It's a little bit smaller than that. Compare it to the QSP Penguin. Very similar in size to the QSP Penguin. Let's compare it to some bigger knives. ZT-0308 and the Spyderco PM2. You can see they're definitely a lot smaller than those. Not nearly as big as those big chunky knives. And we'll also compare it to my CGRB Pyrite XL, a large Pyrite, sorry. Yep, so it's definitely smaller than that as well. Let's see, do I have any Axis locks I compare it to? Compare it to the Benchmade Damas. Definitely smaller than that, big boy Damas. And can also compare it to my Microtech MSI, similar style of lock. Definitely not as big as that either. So you can see it's definitely a smaller size. Good for EDC, definitely. I like this blade shape. Very beautiful, kind of like drop point, almost clip point. It's got this nice wedge at the top. Meaningful jimping, really feels good in the hand. Really good knife. And I love S35VN steel. It's great stuff. Definitely sharpens out well and works really great. All kinds of stuff. And let's take the weight on this guy. Where's my scale? I'm just losing my scale. Here it is. this knife comes in at 3.3 ounces, which is pretty darn good for weight ratios for a 3-inch blade. It's pretty good, pretty average. Almost an ounce to an inch, which is pretty great. Good stuff. It says SOG there on the pocket clip in really big letters. They want to let you know it's definitely a SOG knife. And they do. It says SOG there. It says SOG. Oh, it doesn't say SOG there. It says SOG here, though. Terminus XR. Yep. But really cool knife. I like those little milling lines in the handle. Definitely makes it feel a little, gives it a little bit of character to the handles that would otherwise be kind of boring. Nice backspacer. Kind of like a injection molded backspacer or whatever. But this carbon fiber, it's not the greatest type of carbon fiber. It is a little bit flat and shiny stuff, but at least they did add these textures, these texturing lines to make it a little bit interesting, which is cool. I like that they did that. But other than that, it's kind of like that flat, shiny stuff. It's not so great. I definitely like the texturing. If you can feel the texture on the carbon fiber, it's really cool. I also like shred and marbled carbon fiber better. I think it looks better on a knife. This flat stuff is a little bit kind of boring, lackluster. But still a pretty cool knife. Definitely like checking this out. It's really cool to see a flipper tab on an Axis style lock. I think they did it. SOG does a really good job with their XR lock. I like it as much as Benchmade, definitely, especially with the flipper tab. It makes a lot of sense to me to have a flipper tab on a style lock like this. It just works really well. So big fan of that. I think this is a T6 pivot, which is not great. We need to be moving away from T6 pivots. Everybody does. So if SOG is, still using T6 pivots, they should probably, make it a bigger size, because that's just a little bit small. It's really annoying to take apart if you try and get a T6 pivot in there. It'll be annoying. But overall, pretty good knife. Definitely good as a secondary knife for me, because it's a little bit smaller. But if you have smaller hands, definitely recommend this one. Really beautiful blade. I love that grind on there. Really pretty. So that's the SOG Terminus XR. If you like this video, give it a like. Please subscribe to my channel, and have a great day.